I am so excited to be here. I can't think of anything else I'd rather be doing today than spending it with you. I'd like to share, though, a journey that I went on. Would you go with me? It all began right here on this stoop, near this ticky-tacky little house in Fort Worth, Texas. That's where it all began. But before I tell you about what began, let me introduce myself. I'm Karen Cupp, and at the time of this journey, I was 29 years old. I was like any 29-year-old, living paycheck to paycheck and just working. You see, I had lived on the same street, in the same town. Heck, I'd never even left the state. I had lived here all my life. And you know, if I were to say my life was a movie, I think I wouldn't go. My mom had just died, and at 29 years old, you're not really grown up, even though you sometimes think you are. Well, here I was standing, and I was thinking, there has got to be more than this life than this. Well, let me take you back to what it was. You see, I had this boyfriend at the time, and like I said, my mom had died, and suddenly he appeared back in Fort Worth, Texas, and he comes to my door, and he walks up to my door, and he knocks on the door, and without me even letting him in, he bursts in the front door. He comes up to me, and he says, I got this really great idea. He says, let's go around the world. I thought that was a metaphor for life, and I thought, you want to do what? You want to go around the world, like how, whatever. But then I thought to myself, But before I tell you my answer, let me tell you about my mama. Mary Grider was the bigger-than-life, big old Texas laugh, fiery redhead. She was that person who loved adventure, and anytime she could have an adventure, she was down for it. Well, my mom always shared some amazing wisdom with me, especially when I was stuck, which is where I was at that moment prior to that question. And she'd say, you can't play small, girl. There's a great big old life out there for you. And life's not happening to you, it's happening for you. Happening for me. Okay, I got it. I'm still standing here. Well, my mama, we always want to know how our mom and dads met. I guess it gives us grounding or something. Well, my mama was living there in Fort Worth, Texas, in Springtown, Texas, a little farm town, and her sister, Melba Jo, called her and said, Mary, I need you to come to Eugene, Oregon. I'm going to have a baby and I need you to help me. Well, she wanted to help, but let me tell you, any reason for an adventure to get out of Springtown, Texas, she was for it. So she gets on a Greyhound bus and she goes all the way to Eugene, Oregon to help her sister. Now, you know, it's not all work and no play, so she had an opportunity to go out on a blind date with a soldier named Jimmy Grider. Let me think. Connect the two? Oh, anyway, so she had this chance to go out on the blind date, and they were out there. They went to a little dance hall, and they were just dancing, just having a good old time and whatever. And my dad got nervous, as you might on a first-time date, and he got his feet tripped up, and he tripped them, and they fell head over heels in the middle of the floor, and instead of being freaked out like he was, she just threw her head back and laughed. He was terrified, and yet he asked for himself, he's like, well, I want what she's having. He said, I'm going to marry that girl. Well, he was set to ship out soon after that, and he didn't miss an opportunity. He said, will you marry me? And she said, yes, I will. He said, there's one slight problem. He said, I'm going from Eugene, Oregon in the beautiful Northwest all the way to Fort Benning, Georgia. And I got to go ahead, so you'll have to find your way there, and then we'll get married. So, being the true spirited adventurer, she said, all right. She buys herself a Greyhound bus ticket. She gets on the bus. She travels 2,700 miles across the United States to meet this soldier. Now, I remember her telling me this story at the time, and she said, that was a little crazy at the time. I didn't even know that guy. I'm thinking, I didn't even know this guy. Well, now back to the question. Do you wonder what I said? I wondered what I said. You know what? I heard my mama's voice saying, this life is for you, not against you. So I stepped forth in true Karen style, and I said, yes, I'll go. Well, in true showmanship style, I realized that you can't start a big adventure without a big showmanship action. So we stood right here on this front porch, this stoop right here where I'm talking to you, and we raised our hands high and we said, it begins. Oh my gosh. Have you ever been to a circus and seen a trapeze artist, 25 feet up in the air, standing on the stoop, and you're sitting there and your heart's thumping and you just don't know if they're really going to do it? That's where I was. Standing on that stoop is like standing on that trapeze, taking a hold of that bar, and I stepped off. I not only stepped off, I propelled myself forward, committed and hoping to make it to the other side. Well, we did go around the world. In fact, we spent 455 days of our honeymoon going around the world. Oh, we saw sights like the Taj Mahal, we saw the Tower of London, we saw gondolas. We saw from the outside. We didn't have any money. We were broke. But we saw them, and we met people. We made friends with other travelers like ourselves, and we talked, and we talked, and we fought, and we argued. Because when you spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with someone with nothing else to do but there he is. Well, I sure am running home to Mama now, so I guess we're together in this journey. Well, that trip was a life changer, a game changer, because I had to take Mama with me, because she was up for an adventure. Well, here I stand today on this TEDx stage, and I remember when my friend texted me and said, hey, they're going to do this TEDx talk, and you really ought to do it. It would be fun. Now, he's texting me, and I'm thinking, oh, I got stuff to do. I have so much. No. And then I heard, don't let an opportunity pass you by. And I thought, well, okay, what's my big idea? I don't have any big ideas. I'm just here. I'm about to turn 65 in April, and I'm thinking, I don't have any big ideas. And then I thought about it. I thought, you can't live 65 years and not have some things to share with other people. Because don't you want to encourage each other to keep going and to step out there? So I thought about it. And I put my thoughts together, and I thought about, all right, life is happening for you. So what I did was I want to today, to invite you. If you're sitting in that audience and you're thinking, all right, I don't want to go around the world, Karen, and no, I can't. But there's something right here burning in your heart that you go, if I had the courage or the money or the whatever, I just might do it. I just might. And I want to invite you in to think, life's happening for you. And I want you to think, life's happening for me. Should have stepped right into that spotlight. And what I knew about myself at the moment was I'm now the leading lady of my own life. I can write my story however I want. And guess what? My time to shine, and it's yours too. So again, I'm going to invite you in, and if that is burning in your heart, and you're thinking, I would really like to do that, I want you to step up in this spotlight, hold yourself proud, and I want you, and I'll tell you, you can borrow Mama's saying, you can't play small, girl. There's a great big life out there for you. So go and live it. And I look forward to meeting you and hearing about your story. Thank you.